Hey everybody, welcome to the Buttered Home. It is Messy Kitchen Monday, our special holiday edition. I hope we've caught you early enough, but I really think we have. I've got two really great recipes today that you can whip up this afternoon to have for your barbecue today. So what we are having are refrigerator pickles and Alabama white barbecue sauce. Now, if you're not familiar with Alabama white barbecue sauce, it is a mayonnaise-based barbecue sauce that's for so much more than just Boston butt. We like to use it to dip French fries in. It's a good chip dip even when you're short of anything else. There's a lot of little things you can do with it, so it's not just for your barbecue, so to say. Hold on, Tanner's getting the chips to appease the dogs. We were not prepared, sorry. But these refrigerator pickles, on the other hand, they are wonderful. They'll be ready in as little as an hour or 2 hours, or they're even better really the next day after they marinate in the fridge overnight. But in a pinch, you can make these and have them in as little as an hour or two. So they're really, really good, and they last for several weeks in the refrigerator if you don't eat them all first. So, and there are lots of different variations you can do with them. You can make them a little sweeter if you like sweet pickles. We like dill pickles here, so that's what we're doing for you today, and that's basically what the recipe on the website is going to be as well. So I have a lot of stuff on my counter, and I know that everybody is busy today, so we're going to get started so we don't keep you for very long so you can get back to your cookout or your friend and family gatherings. But before we start, we just want to say that today is Memorial Day, and Memorial Day is set aside to remember those servicemen and women who have lost their lives fighting for our freedom here in America, and let's always remember that first and foremost. So if you're having a celebration, that's great, but take a minute and remember those that have fallen to serve. So let me move the camera. All right, we're gonna do the refrigerator pickles first, just simply because they're the easiest. So you'll see I've got a big quart jar, and I have sliced about 2 good medium-sized cucumbers about 1/4 inch thick with my mandolin, and I cannot stress to you the safety of using a knife or a mandolin, because you can really, really hurt yourself pretty bad with either. 2 people in our household have hurt themselves pretty significantly with a knife and a mandolin. So just always err on the side of caution. And if you're using a mandolin, be sure that you use the guard that comes with it. Now, that's my public service announcement for today. But what I have done is I have sliced them to about 1/4 inch thick, and I've filled my quart jar about half of the way through. And then I stuck some fresh dill down in the middle. And then I filled it the rest of the way and put some more dill in there. And you'll see I've got what my Aunt Peggy would call just a finger space at the top. Anytime you're doing any kind of canning, even if it's just refrigerator canning, you want to leave about a finger space or about 1 inch or 2 from the top so that you'll have adequate room for your liquid. Now, this recipe calls for about 1.5 cups of white vinegar, half a cup of sugar, a heavy pinch of salt, dill and cucumbers, and water, and a quart jar. So what I've done in preparation for this is I have taken the salt, the sugar, and the vinegar, and I have just heated them on the stove till the salt and sugar have dissolved. You don't want to boil it or anything. It doesn't have to come to high heat, just enough so that that sugar and the salt can dissolve. And then we're going to grab it, and then we are going to just carefully, because this is not hot, it's probably room temperature, but if you're working with hot liquid, we're just going to carefully pour that over the pickles. And now it really should, depending on how many cucumbers you have in there, it should cover it. But if not, if you have not enough liquid compared to what the jar holds, then you can always add just a little bit of water just to top that off. And you still want to keep about 1/2 finger from the top there so that you can seal the jar and then let it sit in the refrigerator. so that it has just a little bitty air pocket there inside. So then we're just gonna take our jar top, screw it on, and just for good measure, I like to just spin mine around just to make sure that everything, that liquid gets in there and there's not any air pockets. And then we put this in the refrigerator, and you can put it in there, and in an hour or two, you will have nice, crispy refrigerator pickles, and they're even better the next day. They're much better overnight. Here I have some that we did a little while back, and they are wonderful and snappy. You'll see they're not discolored, and they still pop when you break them, and they're really, really good. You can also add onions to this and have pickled onions as well, and those are really good. So that recipe will be up on the blog in a few minutes, as well as the next one that we're gonna do. So that's also a treat today. You don't have to wait. Those recipes, I'll link to them later on after we get done with the video, so that you can go ahead and get those now and use those today. The next recipe that we're doing also is a jar recipe. Yay! Less cleanup, right? You don't have a bunch of mixing bowls and things like that. So you can do everything in the jar for this as well. So it's minimal cleanup and it's big on flavor. So this is Alabama white barbecue sauce. And of course, we always start with Duke's mayonnaise. I mean, anytime you have a mayonnaise-based recipe, or you're just making a sandwich, it doesn't matter. You're gonna start with the good old Duke's mayonnaise. And here I am, not prepared, and having it even open. But it takes about a cup of mayonnaise, and we're just gonna eyeball it here. Not really, I'm not gonna like be real heavy-handed with it, in other words, because this is also a recipe that you can add to as well to make it your own. But these are the basic components of the white barbecue sauce, and it's really, really delicious. And then we're gonna add about a tablespoon, good healthy tablespoon of sour cream. And then we're going to take our apple cider vinegar and add about 1/4 of a cup of that. And that's going to give you your barbecue, one of the things that's going to give you your barbecue sauce flavor. All the other stuff is just extra. All right, and then we're going to put in 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And of course, you know I'm making a mess. And then we're gonna put in about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, which takes a little longer than the salt does, about a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, about a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, about a 1/4 teaspoon of hot sauce, or more if you like more, and about a tablespoon of the stone ground mustard. That's the mustard with the flecks in it. One of the nice things about this barbecue sauce is it's white and it looks kind of bland, but you have all these dark colors in there for contrast, so it's fantastic. Let me just make sure I've got everything. Mayonnaise, ACV, Worcestershire, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, hot sauce, sour cream, prepared mustard. That's it. So now, the easy part is you pop that lid on and you shake it. Make sure it's all good and mixed. And then I'm gonna get my spoon here just to show you how pretty it is. And it's got just a little bit of color to it, and it will thicken as it sits as well, especially if you refrigerate it. But it's nice, it's zippy. It's a really good barbecue sauce, as well as a dipping sauce. You can have it with chicken, you can have it with all kind of things. And most people have most of these ingredients in their pantry. So I challenge you, if you're not familiar with it, you can try this. This sauce was developed in North Alabama, I think at Big Bob's Barbecue in like 1925. So it's been around a while. And you'll find several different variations of it throughout the state of Alabama. If you go to any city and they tell you, go to this place, they have the best barbecue, you're liable to find that a lot of them will have their own version of a white sauce. So those are your 2 easy recipes for today. So we haven't quite figured out what we're gonna have today, but it's gonna be something that we can have pickles and white barbecue sauce with. We've been gone all weekend, so we're kind of home today and trying to get caught up from being out of pocket for the weekend. But we had a really nice weekend with some friends at the lake, and we hope that you had a wonderful weekend as well. I am going to jump off here and quickly share the links to both of these blog posts because they will be up. One's already up and one will be up in 4 minutes. So I'll share those links for you. So if you wanted to whip these up real quick, you can, and share them with your friends and say, hey, you like my sauce? You like my pickles? I just whipped them up this morning. People will be surprised. So we hope that you enjoy the remainder of your Memorial Day, and back to the grind tomorrow. So we will be here this Thursday night for Meal Prep Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time. We hope you'll join us then. And as always, if you haven't been to thebutteredhome.com, give us a visit. Head over. You can also subscribe to our email list. We would love to have you there because you will be the first on normal occasions to get recipes like this before everybody else. So we hope you'll join us at The Buttered Home, and we hope to see you here back on Thursday night. Y'all have a great Memorial Day and stay safe. And from The Buttered Home to your home, bye-bye.